Hello, welcome to today's Walk and Talk. This is your host, Shantae Hooks, and you guys are just walking while I talk. Catch the wisdom real quick. So I was reflecting on yesterday. This week has just been, it's been like, I don't know about y'all, but it's felt a bit like an emotional roller coaster in a sense. Like really, really high highs and then really, really interesting kind of low lows. And that, FYI, when you experience those highs and lows, that's like the best example of what it means for your central nervous system to be out of whack. Like maybe just think about it. If you, when you're on a roller coaster and you're going up, it feels one way, and then when you're coming down, it feels a whole nother way, and that like kind of takes you to a whole nother place energetically, and it takes a minute for you to calm down and get back to center. And it's levels to it. And I'm learning that sometimes I don't always have the best habits. Like I love, content on social media and YouTube that is deep and thought provoking and, but a lot of times maybe a little heavy. And that's not what I need when I already feel heavy. Like part of me right now, I'm a little overwhelmed. Like I have a lot on my plate and it's the holiday season. I'm starting to feel the holiday overwhelm, like maybe a lot of people are. And so I really just want to give you some tools because there's a high risk that will happen often for me. I'm building a business. It's the end of the year. And the biggest thing that causes me, I'm gonna be real vulnerable with y'all right now. The biggest thing that causes me stress these days is the fact that there is a story that I continue to play over and over and over in my head where the story says, I am not where I want to be. I want to be here, but I'm here and I don't like it. I don't like the fact that I'm single. I don't like the fact that my business didn't make hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars yet, because I know I'm capable of it. I know I'm capable of being in a loving relationship where my partner adores me and it sets the environment up for me so that I can execute on my goals and be there for him 150 grand 10 toes down. And he honors my independence, and he doesn't make me feel like I'm less than because I'm an intellectual woman. I know I'm worthy of that, and I'm excited to manifest it. But I don't have it right now, and it pisses me off a lot. I'm keeping it real. Hopefully you're getting some value out of this. But it's how I 100% feel. And the same for my business. I know I have a whole lot to contribute to this world in terms of my brilliance and my ability to think of strategic. I can solve I should be a coach for real. I need to be a consultant. You tell me your problem, I could tell you, I bet you $50, I bet you I could solve it in a way that you never thought you could think of that idea. How did I think of that? I'm really good at that. That's what I used to do for a living, in addition to a lot of other really interesting things. And it's exciting because it's like, ooh, like the Scorpio in me is like, I'm gonna make so much money. I'm setting my goals real high, and I'm not there yet. Like I'm creating, I'm ideating. It's all happening. There's a process. There's a strategy. There's a way things have to move in order for it to activate and happen the way that we need it to. But we have to be patient. And sometimes we're not patient. Sometimes I'm not patient. And when I get into that mentality, I just have to welcome the moments where I get some peace and use that time wisely. Because time is of the essence to a degree. Our bodies feel that way. Our bodies feel like time is of the essence. And so we have to use our time wisely. And we all get to figure out what that means. I'm not the person to really tell you how to structure your time. I can tell you what to do when you structure your time. I can tell you how to set your brain up so that you remember to structure that time. Right? If you do those two things, condition yourself to remember to structure your time in a certain way to where you delegate in 5, 10, 20, or if you suddenly have a moment to yourself, you don't just pick up your phone and scroll. That is not resetting your central nervous system. That is not resetting my central nervous system. I feel like I just worked after I did that sometimes. So I have to find ways to really decompress. And so I came up with a few strategies last night. And so I'm just going to share them with you. My strategy last night was to put on I knew I just wanted to watch TV. I didn't want to read a book. I didn't want to use my brain. I wanted to take my brain off. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to figure out something to watch on TV where I can take my brain off. And so my mind and my body started going to a couple different places, and I landed on children's programming. I landed on children's programming, and where I landed was the Babysitter's Club series on Netflix. And I mean, it was real quick. It was like, okay, that. And I just put it on. And instantly I was like, oh, this feels so good. Like, it reminded me of when I was a kid and I used to read the Babysitter's Club books. And I love those books. I had, like, if you looked at my bookshelf, I loved books as a kid, and I had like all of them. And there were like hundreds of Babysitter's Club books. And they had like this really interesting logo with like the block. And so you just, anyway, going into too much detail. The point that I'm trying to make is that I love those books, and as I settled into the show, it was a cool, like, feeling of nostalgia, a release. I felt more relaxed. And it was really interesting, and it was good. It's like such a good show. Like, everything I didn't agree with, I had a couple triggers here and there, which is interesting from a kid's program. I allowed it, I had a good time watching it, and I actually ended up having a long time to watch it, for a whole nother reason. Which in that moment made me angry, but now as I'm reflecting, it's like, wow, isn't it interesting that thing that caused me to have this couple hours to myself, I was kind of angry about that last night, but suddenly I have gratitude for it. And with that gratitude, now, and I'm kind of just, as I'm saying this, I'm entering that space where it's like, oh, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I used my time that way. And I created a little list for myself. What other shows could I watch when I feel like this? So that I don't just go to scrolling or don't just go to my typical YouTube or like, I could just pick something else in the technology. The technology is here to serve us, y'all. It's here to serve us. It's here to create operations and standards and efficiencies in our life so that we don't have to work so hard. You still got to do a little work though, right? You still got to do some work. It's called effortless effort, meaning that you combine times of rest with times of work. If you are out of balance in either of those, you will experience some interesting suffering in your life. And so the goal is to constantly get in balance with what you need as it relates to effortless effort. And the crazy thing is, no two people need the same amounts of effort and effortlessness. You got to figure that out on your own. How do you figure it out, class? Who has their hand up? How do you figure it out, class? Mindfulness. Mindfulness is the space where you can identify, where do I need to apply more effort? Where do I need to be more effortless? You do it in stillness. The answers are much more effective. And then when you get into the game of life, now it's time for me to practice some effortlessness, I do it. And my central nervous system gets back reset, and now I'm ready to go and create content like this. That's how it works. So if you like this, let me know. I'm trying out some new content tactics. I need to know if it's working. You got to give me some kudos. I appreciate when I meet people or see people out and they're like, oh my God, I love your content. I appreciate that. And let me know on the platform. Y'all know how this works. If my stuff is going to get into the algorithm, I need your help. So like it, comment, share it. Like, comment, share. You do it for other people's stuff. Do it for my stuff too. If you found value. If you ain't find value, by all means, I don't know. But if you found value, I'm asking you, spread the word on this kind of content, because I'm going to continue to blend technology with mindfulness, with spirituality, and help you understand that it's bigger than just our goals. It's bigger than just our problems. We are on the brink of really changing society and the way we move in society, and the technology is the enabler. But we have to be able to use it. We have to remember to use it, and we have to choose to use it in such a way that it actually enables and not deactivates. Marinate on that. Peace.